Hello everybody, this is Fronito Bobbin here, and welcome back to Train Sim World, where today we will be continuing on with our look into all of the American freight routes here in Train Sim World. And today we will be taking a look at the Cane Creek Railroad. Yes, we have a desert route. I guess this is located in the state of Utah or something. I actually don't know because I know nothing about this one, actually. Yeah, Cane Creek is another route that I have zero experience. In fact, I have even less experience than I did the Cane Creek Railroad because, as far as I know, I don't know if there's like a Transfer Classic version available, but if there is, I have never played it. So I am going to this route completely blind. I have no idea what to expect from this route. I don't know what's going to be like, nothing. This is just going to be a totally brand new experience for me. So this route actually came out a few years ago, quite a few years ago, back in 2021. And even when it first came out, I just didn't really care for it, and I just still don't really care for it because it's American freight. But because it serves all about American freight routes, well, it's about time that I got on to checking out this route. So yeah, Cane Creek, this is a Union Pacific route. I think this was the first UP route they added, and then they added Sherman Hill later in the same year of 2021. So yeah, this was the debut of Union Pacific here in Train Sim World. And the scenario that we'll be doing for today is LDP 46 Part 1, Brendel to Moab. But yeah, this is actually a two-part, so you have Part 1 here, which we'll be doing, but there's also a second part of this scenario as well, where you guys do the return journey. However, we'll be doing part number 1 for today, because I can see the scenario duration is an hour and 20 minutes, and if I were to do both parts consecutively, it would take a total of 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I just don't have that kind of time right now, so I don't know, maybe I'll do a live stream or something, maybe we'll just do part in a separate video at some point, I don't know, but for today, we're just doing LDP 46 Part 1, Brendel to Moab. And the engine that we're going to remember for today is the AC44CW, and of course, the Pacific livery. I think this was originally in the CSX livery when it first came out for St. Pat's Great Bella back in 2017, but it's the UP version with this route. Alrighty then, so you are running the dirt train, local LDP 46 today. This train handles the removal operation of radioactive contaminated soil from an old uranium processing plant at Moab to a new dump site near Brendel. Alrighty then, so, and here's the route, by the way. It's actually not a very long route, and this is where we'll be going, so we won't be able to check out the entirety of the route today, but we will be checking out most of it, so. Again, maybe I'll do a separate video down the line where I check out the rest of the route at some point, but for right now, we're just doing the section from Brendel to Moab. And with that, not much more to say, so let's just get into it. Alright, Part 1, Brendel to Moab. Let's see what we're doing. Alright, and there is our engine. Alright, conductor, we're in charge of the dirt train today, the daily round trip between Brendel and the uranium processing plant, campsite Moab. Let's prepare for our run. Our 2 rear engines have already been prepared for DP trailing mode. We can climb aboard our lead unit. Okay, cool. And here's our engine for the day. Look at that. And the lighting seems actually pretty bright as well. Yeah. Okay, well, are you gonna... Okay. Right, climb aboard the engine. Here's our engine for the day, indeed. And we'll climb up through the door here. Okay, we have set the locomotive for less, switch on engine run. Okay, are they gonna walk us through? We're just gonna have to just do it ourselves then. Let's see. Okay, so switch engine run, generator field, control, set brakes. Oh, okay, you didn't have to tell me that, but whatever. Right, generator field on. Cut in. Hang on. Wait, is this? Wait, so the valves for cut in lead. Aren't we supposed to? Yeah, air brake. Oh, here we go. And cut in lead. I think it's your train. Oh, well, look at it, but I'm doing this. Ah, there's the SD40 or SD40X2s. Alright, now set the brake valves for cut in lead. And okay. I switch on the DPU fuse. I'll set up here, wow, but glad that they walking me through it. Also, I have no idea what I'm doing. And switch to the banking comms radio channel. Suspend com on. Okay, let's ready to go. Time to contact dispatcher for clearance. All right. And we're denied. Okay, so gotta wait till this train passes through. All right then. Also turn on the lights as well. There we go, like my brights. I guess we're waiting for this guy to pass, and then we will be able to go through. Alright, so here it is, Cane Creek. Never seen this route before, so this is all brand new to me. Let's take a look at the map. Okay, so we're starting out here. There's this section here. Then we go down to... Okay, so we're going there, and then... Or there, and then that's the route. Okay. And that's the entirety of the route. Alright, cool. Alrighty then, so the Cane Creek... Oh, I can also put the reverser in forwards. Oh, and also release the brake down to minimum reduction, so it doesn't take about a century to release the brakes. I actually did that before we started, but whatever. Okay, I guess we put brakes, release the brakes, and then we... Okay, good. Alright then, so yeah, welcome indeed to the Cane Creek Railroad. Like I said, oh, engineer, train dispatch, whatever, train at Brendel, ready speed. Okay. Still saying that I'm waiting for something to change though, so. I know single track though, so how long until we get to go? I have to wait for this guy to get out of this way? I don't know. Oh, the two main lines trains are passing Brendel now. Once both are clear, this is state of that blah, 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 okay, bunch of stuff. And you can read the descriptions if you want. I'm not going to because that's a lot of words and stuff, and I'd rather explain some other stuff that's more interesting. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, welcome indeed to the Cane Creek Railroad. So, I don't know much about the route itself, although we're going to do a 7 mile. Oh yeah, what's our schedule for today? Oh, of course the thing still doesn't work. Okay, can we go? It's still red. I don't know what we're doing. Well, apart from waiting for this light to change to red. I mean, change to green. Anyway, so Cane Creek Railroad. Now, this one's a bit interesting though, because... this was actually the first add-on for Train Sim World that was actually made by Skyhook Games. Yeah, this is not a Dovetail Games route. This is a Skyhook route. And this was their first route. This makes it their first attempt at making an add-on for Train Sim World. First of quite a few, actually. And later the same year, 2020, they would actually release a German locomotive, which was the BR something, the electric engine. I forget what it was called. The BR 189. No, not the 189. I don't know. The one, whatever it was. But anyway, they released a German locomotive later. Ah, there's the other train they're waiting for. They released another locomotive the same year of 2021. And then they released their second route, which actually happened to be another American route. That was the Oyster Curve route, which came out in 2022. And as it happens, that'll actually be the next American ferry route that we'll be taking a look at. So, yeah. They've also released some British stuff as well. And yeah, there's the other train that we're waiting for. Nice. And saying that though about this route, this Cane Creek route, was that when this route actually first released, it actually wasn't in the best state from what I remember. There was some optimization issues with this route, and it wasn't really well optimized at all, I guess. So a bit of a yeah, a bit of a rocky release for this route, but I think they eventually got there in the end. And I should mention though, I'm not playing this with any mods installed. This is just the default Cane Creek route as it is currently right now in Train Sim World 5. And want to sort of give you guys a default experience. So yeah, like I said, this is an unmodded version of this route. So yeah, I don't know how actually good it is, but it's good enough for me, I think. So we'll see. And finally, the brake. Oh, no, the brakes have been released. Finally, yeah, all right. Well, I like the bell on this. That's just like the P-42. And why are we moving? Come on. Okay, well, what are we doing? Why is the brakes... Hold up. I thought we already released the brakes. Hold on. Air brake. Yeah, everything is set up correctly. Why are we not moving? Okay, so I decided to restart the scenario because I don't know what was going on there. So let's see if we can try not to get it to work this time. So we have... Oh, here's the switches for this thing. Oh, it's just generator field on. Okay. Okay, now let's see if we can do this properly. Okay, so air brake. Cut in. And lead. Okay, so the brake valves cut in lead. Is that this one? Okay. exit. Okay, switch on the DPU fuse. That's this thing. And banking comm on. Okay. Ready to go. And I release the brakes. Alright then, so it looks like the brake... Okay, there we go. Brake current is off. Or it's coming off now. Okay. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I guess the first time around I must have missed something off. I guess. That's very strange. Well, anyway, I guess we're all set to go for real this time, because I'm not going to wait for the trains to go by again. So I guess what we'll do now is I'll cut this part out, and then I will meet you when we're ready to go. Alright, and we're all set and ready to go. Let's try that again. There we go. And yeah, I know the brakes were released at that time because I actually released the brakes all the way to minimum and the train should move forward. But there we go then. Alright. So yeah, I don't know what happened the first time around. I think what happened was that I was rushing through a little bit too quickly and I missed a couple of steps. So then this time I decided to go ahead and do the setup a bit more slow this time. And well, good news is that now we actually set up our train. So we're now all set and ready to go. Alright then, so... Yeah, so we have a train of empty hoppers. And which we're taking. And for the first time we're going as far as 7 miles. Do we have any dynamic brake in this thing? Well, we should. Oh, but it's a bit of a pain to set up, though. Oh. Well, I guess I'll just use the air brake then. Actually, the air brake actually won't be that bad this time around because it's actually a really short train, so the brake should be that much of a pain. Although we're saying that this thing does have a dynamic brake, right? It has an independent brake. I don't think this thing has a dynamic brake. I can't find any handles, so whatever. And for some reason now we're slowing down. Okay. Alrighty then, so, yeah, turns out that, yeah, I indeed messed up something up the first time, so, yeah. But anyways, yeah, we are now on our way to 7 Mile and where we're going after this. Alright, whatever. Alright, we're going to the... I went to like a branch line. I see. Anyway, yeah. So, like I said, yep, this is the Cane Creek Railroad, a route that I have never ever driven on until now. So let's see what's like. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, like I said, Cane Creek is a route that I don't know really anything about. I'm guessing we're based in Utah. Well, definitely looks like Utah. So that's neat. And like I said, this was the first ever add-on by Skyhook Games. And it was a bit faulty at first. So, like I said, I am playing this without mods installed. So we'll see. Hopefully it's good. And early season. And, yeah. It looks quite a bit brighter in this route, though. It's almost like the Todd 4 lighting that we have in all of the newer routes. Well, so they're using the Todd 3 lighting that we had, well, for every route up until Train Sim 3. We have like a little sign there. What's this? Oh, it's a... Oh. It's glitching out. Okay. I did take a look at the timetable for this route, though, and, yeah, you want to know something that actually surprised me when I first looked at it? There are a grand total of 21 services for this route. Yes, 21 services, and no, that's not 21 services for each locomotive, because you have to get two different names with this, right? You get the AC-44CW, which we're driving, and you also get the U-Pacific AC-40-2. But no, that's not 21 services for each locomotive, that's 21 services for the whole route. So, I'm guessing this is like some middle of nowhere branch line where the traffic is very infrequent. And as a result, well, there's not much to do. So they're just kind of, you know, not doing very much. So, I guess Gaio Games just wanted a simple route to start off with, because again, this was their first route for Train Sim World, so I guess wanted something that was a bit more simple and easy, and then move on to something more complicated later on. Because remember, they did do the Horja Curve route, which is a lot longer and a lot busier than this route. And they also did the Midland Mainland as well, which is also a pretty decently busy route. I'm not sure which routes they've done since then, though. I think they've done I think they primarily focused on their cargo line packs, I mean, because they came with Cargo Line Pack 1, Volume 1 a couple years ago, and then up to Cargo Line Volume 4 now, and currently Cargo Line Volume 5 is currently in development and set to release sometime after the release of Train Sim World 6. So, yeah. Although, yeah, in terms of routes, I forget. Have they done anything since Midland Mainline? I actually don't know. I might have to look into that. But yeah. What's also weird though is that Skyhook is actually a British developer, like Dovetail. Yeah, they're basically a British developer that decided to try their hand at making an American route to start off with. And which was they also made a German locomotive, so yeah. Alright then. And yeah, speaking of the Orchard Curve route, that will actually be the next freight route that we'll be taking a look at. Although that might not be the next Train Sim World video. Although... actually, you know what's funny about that, though? The next Train Sim World video might be another Skyhook product. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. Oh, this here looks a bit messed up. Uh-oh. I would say this one, though, looks nice. Actually reminds me quite a bit of Sherman Hill. Like, Sherman Hill is I'd say is a more busy line, whereas this is just kind of in the nowhere. I mean, yeah, I think it's still tracked for the entire route, or almost the entire route, and like I said, only 21 total services in the timetable. And even saying that, I think there's like, what, 15 or 16 services for the AC-44CW, and then only 6 services for the S4-2. So... really not much in terms of the timetable. Like, if you're getting this route, you know, and you primarily play timetable route, there's not a whole lot to do. In fact, you could probably just spend, like, a couple of weeks or something like that, or however much long time you have, and you can end up doing every single service on this route. Yeah. And there's actually a mix of services, too. You have to get, like, local shunting services, and you also get some short freight runs. But you do also get about, like, what, 5 or something? Okay, more than 5, I think. But I don't know, something like 8 or whatever, how many services that go the entirety of the route. And those take about 2 hours. So, yeah, it takes, yeah, so in fact, it actually takes about 2 hours to drive this route in its entirety. And even this, they're doing it being an hour and 20 minutes long, only covers, well, no, it covers most of the route, but not the whole thing. Like, there is a significant portion of that we won't be covering in this video because, well, the scenario will cover a certain amount. And also because I don't really want to do this route's entirety, because, again, it takes a while to do the whole thing. Actually, I think the speed limit is going to be 25 miles per hour, so you know what? I might apply the independent brake to try to get the speed to be a bit more fine. Because I don't think we have dynamics on this thing. Maybe we do, but I don't know how to activate them. Actually, let me look at the computer. Is there any way to turn on the dynamic brake? Oh, it's a speed control setting. Oh, but it's not for this. Okay, so we'll use the independent brake then. If it works. Come on. There we go. I'll try to find space with the independent brake so I can have it go at the right speed. Okay, this is why the air brake order was actually pretty inefficient in terms of speed because I constantly stood up between 20 and 25 miles per hour, so I'm going to use the independent brake instead to manage to be a bit more nicely, and yeah, you can see it's working to its desired effect. And like I said, I don't know if this route exists in any other sim. As far as I know, I don't know, it might exist over in Train Sim Classic, but it would be like a very obscure route or something on some website or whatever. But again, I wouldn't know about it. So, I don't know. So, like I said, and yeah, like I said, I didn't even know the existence of this route until it came to Train Sim World a few years back, and I haven't even ever driven until now. So, yeah, this is only a brand new experience for me. Anyway, another thing I'll talk about briefly is Train Sim World 6. Actually, I already did briefly talk about Train Sim World 6 in my last video, the Shoreline Road video, on Train Sim World, on Trains Simulator 3, a different game. And yeah, I don't really have anything to say about Train Sim World 6 at this point, like I said in another video, because all it really did was a soft announcement. You know, as far as what content we're getting with Train Sim World 6, as well as what content we're going to be getting post-release of Train Sim World 6. We still have to wait until the Dovetail Direct stream in late August to find all that stuff out. I will be I will be there watching the Dovetail Direct stream, and I will also do a live stream talking about everything. So we're gonna have I'm gonna have a lot more to say about Train Sim World 6 once I do the Dovetail Direct stream. But for right now, I don't really have much at all to say. So, yeah. But one thing I do want to say regarding Train Sim World 6 as well, though, and actually regarding this little series I'm doing where I cover all the American free routes here in Train Sim World 5. My original plan was actually to cover all 6 of the routes I've covered in the Train Sim World 5 era. So that being the first few routes I've already taken a look at, plus this route, as well as Horseshoe Curve and Con Pass. However, I will be making a little bit of a change to Con Pass because my plan with Con Pass is that I will be covering that route once the Santa Fe gameplay pack releases. And my original plan was that was actually going to be the last video I was actually going to do for Train Sim World 5 and before Train Sim World 6 in the near future. However, in the July roadmap, they basically confirmed that the Santa Fe gameplay pack will actually not be coming until post-launch of Train Sim World 6, because it's weird, because when I looked at the roadmap, I actually thought that the Santa Fe gameplay pack was actually pretty far along in development, although I did notice, though, that it was in the, 0 to 3 months, oh no, not 0 to 3 months, the down the line, the further down the tracks category, which implies that, yeah, it's not coming out for a while. I thought that maybe that was just a bit of an error, though, when the Santa Fe gameplay pack was actually a lot further along development than they thought, because they come up with a lot of screenshots of the Santa Fe gameplay pack, so I just assumed that it was very far along, it was going to be releasing pretty soon, but I guess the further down the tracks status of it was actually correct, as yeah, the Santa Fe gameplay pack will not be coming out until post-launch of Train Sim World 6. So basically what this means is that I will be holding off on the Con Pass video until after Train Sim World 6 releases and the Santa Fe gameplay pack releases. So, yeah. Now, like I said, I will still be covering the Horseshoe Curve route because, well, that route's been out for a few years, and technically Con Pass is released, but like I said, I want to cover the Santa Fe gameplay pack with Con Pass because I feel like that would make the video more interesting. Because, in case you didn't know, I have actually already done a whole thing on Con Pass. A few years ago, actually, right after the release of Train Sim World 3, I actually did a whole live stream dedicated to Con Pass where I drove the BSF AS44C4 on the entirety of the Con Pass route. So actually, if you actually want to see me drive the Train Sim World Con Pass route right now, like I said, I have already done a full live stream on that route a few years ago back on Train Sim World 3. Although I do still want to give Con Pass like a second look because like I said, I did a live stream on Con Pass, although I still get to do a video on Con Pass. And since I've already done the EAS44C4 on Con Pass, which is the default locomotive, that's why I want to wait until the Santa Fe gameplay pack comes out. So that's why I can, make things a little bit more interesting. And like I said, I was initially anticipating that Santa Fe gameplay pack was going to come out during the last bit of Train Sim World 5, but nope, it's now been confirmed that the Santa Fe gameplay pack will not be coming out until after Train Sim World 6. I'll be waiting until then to do Con Pass. So yeah, like I said, if you really want to see me drive a Con Pass Train Sim World right now, then I'll do the live stream. But if you want to see me drive the Santa Fe gameplay pack on Train Sim World, well, looks like we'll be waiting until whenever the Santa Fe gameplay pack comes out, which will be until after Train Sim World 6. So there you go. So with that in mind, though, that does leave a bit of a vacancy in like which videos I can do on Train Sim World 5 until Train Sim World 6 comes out. And actually, I actually looked at my own roadmap, which is what I used to make my videos, and yeah, I've actually just put like to be confirmed because actually I don't know myself which video I'm gonna be doing as like what will be the last ever Train Sim World 5 thing. But in due time, I'll probably come up with something and we'll see what I do. But that is a story for another day. With that being said, I do have the next few train sim videos planned out. Like I said, my next train sim video is that's going to be another Skyhawk product, although I won't say what it is yet. You'll have to wait and see. And then after that, I will be doing the Horseshoe Curve route. And then, yeah, Horseshoe Curve is going to be the last American Trail that we'll be covering, like I said, until the Pass. So that's what I'll do between then and the end of Train Sim 5. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'll figure it out when the time comes. Oh, I have a road. Wait, is that a hump in the road? Hold up, what's that? Oh, the road's just really bendy. And... oh. That's the weirdest one I've ever seen. It makes no sense to me. I'm still gonna screenshot now the post production after I get this thing done. Alright then. And that's first I gotta say at this point regarding train sim stuff then. Yeah. Well, I gotta think of some stuff to talk about because we still have quite a ways to go in this scenario. Yeah. Well, in terms of personal life stuff, I don't have much to say at the moment. Actually. There's some stuff I can talk about regarding that, but I'd rather keep it secret just for now until I get further along with it. Yep, not much to really say at this point. Also, this is literally a GE locomotive, actually. It's got like that funnel at the top. That's why the bell is yeah. That's why the bell is like the same as the P42, because well, the P42 is also a GE locomotive. Well, you know what then? I guess one thing I'll talk about then is some of my sort of predictions for Train Sim World 6 then. Because there was actually this one guy called Richie Real, I think it was, who actually did a whole video predicting what will be the content that we'll get in the Train Sim World 6 base package. And in terms of what I personally want for Train Sim World 6, I can only really make a wishes for what I want in terms of American content, because to be honest, I don't like here in terms of, well, here's the thing. In terms of British content for Train Sim, there's already so much on this game that I honestly I don't really know what I want anymore for like British content. You know, I got the, you know, West Coast Mainline, East Coast Mainline, a bunch of other routes. You know, we got a Welsh route and everything. Although in Rich Mill's prediction video, he did predict the Northwest Coastal route, which is about that was actually over in Train Sim Classic. This is a pretty cool thing. And I guess, yeah, I guess the Northwest Coastal route would be pretty cool. Actually, you know, it'd be really cool though if we got Northwest Coastal route. That'd also finally bring the Voyager to Train Sim World, which would be a really cool train to have. And I actually do know that the Voyager is actually not in service in real life anymore. Although it would still be pretty cool, because that would be another train that we can drive over on the West Coast Main Line, London Milton Keynes route. So having the Voyager would be really cool. And we'd also get the Class 175 DMU. And actually, it's funny. I was actually watching my my Train Sim World 5 discussion stream that I did a year ago, and I actually predicted that the Class 175 would actually be one of the DMUs included in the Cardiff Network route. Although that was just me not really knowing much about that route. Although it's funny, I actually looked back at the chat for that live stream, and somebody in that chat actually said that actually the most likely DMUs that would come in the Cardiff Network route was actually the Class 150 and 153 diesel multiple units. And it turns out that, yep, we got both of those DMUs with the Cardiff route in Train Sim World, so yeah. But having the 175 in Train Sim World would also be pretty cool because, that's another train that I'm actually quite fascinated with, and I actually kind of like that train from driving over Train Sim Classic. So having that in Train Sim World would be pretty nice as well. And, yeah, if they do decide to go with Miller's Coastline, I guess we'll see what kind of stuff they include with it then. But that, again, that's just a prediction though, so that's what British would like to do for Train Sim World. Who knows? And in that prediction video, he also predicted the. He also predicted the actually did something a bit interesting actually for the quote unquote German route, because he actually predicted that instead of getting a German route as part of the base content for Train Sim World, he actually predicted that we would be getting another Dutch route. Which again is actually another route that I would also be pretty interested in, because I have driven the Dutch route that we got, the Swol to Spalingalingalingalingalinga route, or whatever that route's called, the Dutch route that we got back in March of this year. I did drive that route, and I do like the trains they get with it. I like the Koplopper as well as the Sprinter New Generation they get with the with that route, but the route itself, though, is rather unremarkable. You know, it's just a countryside mainline route, which is not very busy. So, yeah, the trains are cool, but the route itself is just kind of meh, nothing really special. So one thing I would like to see, though, for like a Dutch route would be like a route that's more busy. You know, a route with more frequent trains, and also more of a variety of trains as well. Because, you know, I like having the Copa or the Spirit Generation, but having more trains in that would be pretty neat. So yeah, if they decide to go with a Dutch route as the part of the base gun for Train Sim World 6, that'd also be pretty neat. Yeah, I'd like to see that as well. But in terms of what they'll do, no idea. Who knows? They might even go with the Dutch route. They'll just go with another German route. But to be honest, though, I kind of don't want another German route, because I feel like, in terms of German routes for Train Sim World, I'd say we already have a really good list. You know, we got routes like Navigator Dresden, the Kinzig-Talbahn, we got other stuff, you know, Hamburg, Lübeck, Nuremberg. There's just Katzenwurzburg. There's just so many German routes for Train Sim World that, honestly, I don't think we need any more German routes, honestly. Oh yeah, I also got Frankfurt S-Bahn that came out recently as well. Yeah, I'm gonna be with you right now. I don't think we need any more German routes for Train Sim World. Like, there's just so much. And even Austrian routes, we have a pretty decent collection of those. You know, we got the Semmeringbahn route, which was actually pretty neat. We got the Rohrburg line, which I thought was just boring. This is pretty cool thing as well. We got the and we also got the Mittenwaldbahn, courtesy of Train Sim Germany. Which I'd say that road's alright as well. So yeah, honestly, in terms of German routes, I think we have enough, and I would definitely like to see Dovetail expand to different countries more often. Oh, they do decide to go with the German route for Train Sim World 6. We'll see what they do, but honestly, I think that guy's prediction of them going with the Dutch route set is actually pretty sound. And yeah, because think about it, here's me complaining about, oh, we got so many German routes, but then in terms of Dutch routes, we only have one route, and I think that one route is kind of meh. But I do think there's definitely room for Dovetail expansion into doing more Dutch routes, so I think it'd be quite interesting to see if we got a Dutch route as part of the big for Train Sim. Well, who knows, they might even do it, so we'll see. And as for the American route, which one that I'm personally most interested in, you know, being an American and being very well versed in American railroads. So in that video, he actually predicted that we could possibly get the Miami West Palm Beach route, which is actually a route that I have over in Train Simulator Classic. And I actually kind of like that route, Miami West Palm Beach. You know, the good amount of good potential for CSX freight trains. He did actually predict that that the included rolling stock would actually be the tri-rail equipment, which, yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool if we got tri-rail in Train Sim World. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Although for some weird reason, though, he also predicted that we would be getting Brightline as like the standalone DLC train, which I don't really agree with, because no, here's the thing. I probably should have come on the video, because here's the thing. There's actually two different routes that actually go from Miami to West Palm Beach. there's the route that we have over in Train Sim Classic, which is the route that's used by Tri-Rail, as well as the Amtrak Silver Star, as well as Silver Meteor, or now currently the Amtrak Floridian. So that's over in Train Sim Classic. But then there's also a completely different line that goes from Miami to West Palm Beach, and that's what that Bright Line uses. See, that thing, Bright Line does not use the same trackage that CSX, Tri-Rail, and Amtrak uses. Like I said, Bright Line uses their own trackage, which is owned by the Florida East Coast Railroad. Or I think, I say Florida East Coast. I think they actually bought up Florida East Coast, and they claimed, and they made that their own trackage, so, yeah. So that's that then for the Bright Line stuff, So if we were to, so here's the thing though, if we were to get Bright Line in Train Sim World, it would have to be its own thing, actually. And that's something else worth mentioning though, if we do get Bright Line though, you know, knowing Dovetail, they'll probably only do the route from Miami West Palm Beach, but honestly, what I really want though is the entirety of the Bright Line route that we have at the moment in real life, which goes from Miami all the way to Orlando. I think that would be a much better route than just Miami West Palm Beach. All that being said, I still would really like Bright Line and Train Sim World. You know, it would mean that we would finally get a member of the Siemens Charger family of trains, as well as the Siemens Venture Coach as well, which would be really cool. And generally, I think Bright Line would actually be really cool to see here in Train Sim World. Yeah. I will say this, though. I will make my own, I guess, sort of prediction or what I want to see in Train Sim World. As cool as Bright Line would be, as well as Tri-Rail, honestly, I think it's about time they added Metro. Because Metro is I would say, has a lot more potential. Because, you know, as someone who's actually been on Metro, you know, watch my Chicago video from last week if you want to see that, I would say a Metro route in Train Sim World actually has a lot more potential than like a Bright Line route. And I guess if you want more specific, what kind of Metro route would I want to see in Train Sim World? I would say there's actually 3 routes that they could do that would make a really good routes, however you want to say it, for Train Sim World. The first route is actually the route that we already have over in Train Sim Classic, that being the BNSF line from Chicago Union Station to Aurora. I think that route could have a lot of potential because that route is actually primarily Metro and BNSF freight trains, and well, Dovetail already has a pretty decent amount of BNSF content as they introduced, or as they brought in for the Colin Pass route, as well as the BNSF S70 ACE locomotives. Well, they also made it for Colin Pass. So they have actually a pretty decent amount of BNSF equipment that they could definitely use to layer on onto the BNSF line, what they call the BNSF line. And in terms of trainages, trainage, that's the term I just made up. They wouldn't need to do that much. I think primarily they would just have to do the F40 PHM, or whatever that's called, the one that primarily was with the BNSF line. And as well as, of course, our favorite gallery coaches. And actually, I just realized, they already made the gallery coaches for the Caltrain. And so, they might even be able to take the gallery coaches from that Caltrain route and make some modifications to them to make them into Metro. So, yeah. Not much more need to be done there. And they might even also be able to take the F40, either the Caltrain F40 or the MBT F40, and maybe make that into like the Metro F40 as well. So, yeah. So even just from what they already have in terms of rolling stock, they could definitely make a complete Metro route from Chicago to Aurora. So that's one route they could make. Now the other route they could make, though, this one might be a bit more challenging, is the Milwaukee District North line from Chicago to Fox Lake, I think. Yeah, I say Fox Lake. I actually only went on the route as far as Lakeville in real life on my trip last year. But they could make that route as well, although that route's might be more difficult, though, because they could make the gallery coach, actually. Or would it? Because they have the gallery coach, but they also have the MP36 locomotive as well. That's another Caltrain locomotive that they could just reskin into. Oh yeah, Caltrain also Metrolink as well. They also have Metrolink MP36. So yeah, they could add another MP36 in the Metro liveries, but with the gallery coach. So actually, no. In terms of equipment, no. I've realized that, yeah, they already have that equipment. So, yeah, that wouldn't be too difficult. And hey, you know what? If they decide to go around having like a DLC train, they could also add the F59 PHI or the S70 Mach. Although, personally, I would rather have the F59 PHI, as I think it's more interesting. Come on. Give me breaks. There we go. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool to have. Now, in terms of other equipment, though, or no, I say F59 PHI, no. No, you know what they should also do, though, to just fill the time a little bit more? They should also add Amtrak services. More specifically, the Amtrak Hiawatha service. They could add like an SE44, and then they could either do their Horizon coaches or the Venture coaches. And then have like SE44s running back to back. And, yeah. Or if they do the Horizon, they could also add the Amtrak Borealis. Oh, then they have to also make the P42 locomotive. I don't know how likely that is, so we'll see. Maybe they'll do the... Actually, you know what? Maybe they'll just do the Chargers for now, and then they'll do the P42 later on. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, American District Line definitely also a route with lots of potential. And I would say the final route that they could do, I say final, well, last but not least, is the Metro Electric Line. Yeah. Because I think for that, they would only have to make the Highliner EMU gallery cars. Yeah. And maybe as DLC train, they could also add the South Shoreline trains as well. So, yeah. And yeah, I guess I should already say this, but in case you didn't know, as happens, 3 lines that I mentioned just now, the BSF line, Milwaukee District North, and Electric line, happen to be all 3 of the routes that I actually went on in my Chicago trip. So, like I said, if you want to see that, I have made a whole 3-hour video, so yeah, you can watch that and see what I got up to. So, but yeah, like I said, me personally, as for the American route, I wanted to do Metro. I really do. Now, you may be thinking to yourself then, oh, but isn't there some licensing issues there? And, do you know what? Maybe. Because I have a feeling that Dovetail would have done a Metro route by now if they had the licensing. But I don't know. I don't know how difficult. Like, how hard would it be to get the Metro licensing? Because, you know, you could raise a fair point because the original BSF line that they made for Trace Classic, well, I say they made. Actually, no, that wasn't a Dovetail. That was a third party, the developer that made the original BSF line for Trace Classic. But that route had no Metro branding on it at all. And the only way to actually get Metro branding for the Transfer Classic version is to download a branding patch for that. But the thing is that we know that they don't usually, or they really don't really ever make unbranded equipment for Train Sim World. And most recently, we did get the Class 350 for the London Milton Keynes route. We did get that unbranded, although that train was originally going to have the London Western branding, but then I guess there was a last-minute licensing dispute. And by that point, the route was already too far into development, so they had to just release that in unbranded condition. So, yep. So, yeah. But I don't think Dovetail would make a Metro route with with no branding it from the start. So we'll see. Now, saying that, let's say if they don't do Metro. I do think actually the Minus One Basement try would be neat, as well as the Amtrak. Maybe if they find a side of Amtrak before it's with like the Silver or something like that. But we'll see if they might do that. But I guess we'll see. Something else I did see, though, at one point in a comment, He's going under a YouTube video. I don't know how credible this is, so I'll take this with a grain of salt. But somebody did say that they might be bringing more New Jersey Transit content to Train Sim World. So there might be potential there as well. Could they also do a New Jersey Transit route for Train Sim World? Because they do this at the New Jersey Transit licensing already. Because they had to get that to do the New York Trenton route. So could they do something like the North Jersey Coastline route, or maybe the Morrisville line? I guess we'll see. Or they could do another Metro North line as well. Maybe they could do the Metro North Hudson line. There's a lot of different routes they could do, honestly. I really can't pinpoint what American route that Dovetail they could do. Or who knows? They might even do a freight route. They might even do a commuter route or pass route. They might just do another freight route potentially, which wouldn't be as exciting. But saying that, it's funny. The most recent freight route that we've actually gotten here at Train Sim World was actually the Compass route, which released for Train Sim World 3 way back in 2022. So it's been a few years since we've gotten any American freight route. It's all been Pazzo stuff since. So we'll see then. Maybe they can do another freight route, but personally I would rather have a commuter route. I think those are just more exciting. And thinking about it, maybe one of the other reasons why there hasn't been any more American freight routes lately is because they're just not really that popular, you know, if you think about it. So, you know, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what they do though. I will say this though. I will say this. Whatever American route they choose to do for Train Sim World 6, I just hope it's not another SoCal route, because we have now, it's funny, we have gotten 3 SoCal routes in a row with Train Sim World based content. Like I said, we got Compass with Train Sim World 3, then we got the Into the Valley line with Train Sim World 4, and most recently we got the San Bernardino line for Train Sim World 5. So that's 3 SoCal routes in a row. So please, no more SoCal routes for a good while. Alright, we don't need any more. I mean, we already have 2 Metrolink routes. I don't think we need another Metrolink route. And as far as what we could do in terms of, like, you know, freight stuff, again, I really don't think we need another Western freight route either. But we'll see. Is that an airport? Yeah, it kind of looks like an airport. Hey, let's investigate. I think it is. I can't see it very well. It's not very well, but I think that's an airport. Interesting. Airport located in the middle of nowhere. How about it? Oh, there's our train. Oh, gotta use the brakes a bit. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of what I think they might do for Train Sim World 6, I have absolutely no idea, but I can at least try and predict it. But since we're just trying to long here, those 6 do a flyby view, because I still have yet to do one in this video, so I may as well do one right now. Because why not? That's an airplane. Yes, that's an airport. Yeah. I saw some of the hopper guys have graffiti on them. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah. And there's the 2 back engines. Yeah. A bit more braking, come on. This part's there's like a road, yeah, it goes underneath the road here. Well, I tell you what, I'm glad I came up with something to talk about because I really don't have much to say about this route. Honestly, it's very boring. Honestly, there's not much to see here in terms of scenery. It's just green and stuff and sand, and that's it. Yeah, this route. There's not much going on here, honestly. It's just, it exists. So I'm glad I was able to come up with talk about Train Sim 6. We're actually now 6 miles away from our destination, so yeah, glad I came up with that to talk about because I don't really have any much to say about this route, so yeah. If I'm being honest, this is probably the least interesting of the routes we've taken a look at so far. You know, this was Sandpatch great, you know, I got a decent amount of freight traffic and services to do. You know, Queensfield Railroad, I mean, that route, there's not much going on in terms of traffic, but at least there's like a bunch of different places you can go to. And then, you know, you also have Toronto, Oakville Subdivision, which is just a high-speed freight route. One thing about this route is basically Oakville Subdivision, but without much to look at and a lot slower. Yeah. So, this is a route that I probably won't be coming back to anytime soon. It's just not really interesting. Yeah, it's just kind of middle of nowhere. I mean, again, this was Skyhook's first route, so I can understand if they want something simple, but they went, I'd say, a little bit too simple. And even saying that, you know, we recently got the Manchester Airport route, which is the first route made by Alan Thompson Sim. And for the people who are actually criticizing the short length of Manchester Airport, which I actually do agree with, but, you know, Alan Thompson came out and said, yeah, but the reason was because we wanted a route that was simple and stuff. I guess it's fair enough, but at least with Manchester Airport Commuter, there's actually a decent variety of services, and you're also not driving at 25 miles per hour. You know, got Pendolino's services, 323 services, of course. You also got books for the passenger trains you can drive and everything. There's actually a decent amount of variety with Manchester Airport Commuter in terms of the passenger side of things. But with this route, though, there's really not much at all. So, yeah. So, yeah, this route exists. I mean, I will say the scenery is alright. And the frame rate is actually pretty good. It's well optimized. But, yeah, and you might like this route, but me personally, though, I still don't really care for this route, even now having finally driving it. Because again, I have never, ever, ever driven this route until today. And yeah, the simple reason is because I've just never been interested in this route, so I've just never bothered to drive it. But I decided to do it today for this video. Well, as I've been planning on doing since the beginning of this little series. And now I've driven it. Yeah, I still don't really care for it. Not much to do and not much to see, and even locomotives are like, you know, there's this locomotive similar to these that can drive on other routes that are a little more exciting than this. Yeah. So up next we have the Horcha Curva, which I will say is actually more exciting than this route. There's a lot more traffic on that route because I have actually driven Horcha Curva a couple times in the past. But, and Call Pass is pretty decent as well, and also I'll be interested to check that out once the Santa Fe Game Pack comes out, but, yeah. A bit of a bridge here. Yeah. I guess spin for this entire route is Oh, hello. Oh, what's going on here? Come on. Really? That doesn't look good. Well, we're almost to 7 miles. Is there any, what we're actually doing after this, by the way? I wish I could view this stupid... Oh. Alright, are we really just going to the other locomotive after this? Or no, stop it. Okay, I don't know what we're doing. We'll figure it out when we get there. Okay, so let me know if you would like to see me do another video on this route. Maybe we'll do part 2 of this scenario at some point. But... yeah, me personally... this route exists. I guess. There's not much to do on it, though. I guess I will give it the benefit of a little bit because again, this was Skyhook's first ever route for Train Sim World, so you know, fair enough they want something similar. And they did eventually, you know, like I said, they did come out with Orchard Curve and Midland Mainland, which are both better routes than this one. And again, they might have came out with a route after that, but I can't remember if they have. But yeah. So then, yeah, 4 miles. No, actually, less than 4 miles to 7 mile. Ironic. Next, we'll see what we do from there. At this point, though, not much to say else about Train Sim World 6. I already talked about my predictions and everything, so yeah. I will say this, though. I am actually really looking forward to the Dovetail Direct stream, though, because I'm just curious to find out what routes are going to be announced and everything, because I already said this in my community post, but yeah, they're going to be doing the same thing as they did last year, though, on last year's Dovetail Direct, where they're going to announce all of them for Train Sim World 6. Well, obviously, so that's... well, but no, why I'm interested, though, is because they're going to announce 3 routes, as usual, but they're also going to release 3 DLC trains for each of the routes, so I'm actually very interested to find out what those are going to be. And also, like I said, like I mentioned before, Take a Ticket is returning, so not only are they going to announce the content that's going to be in Train Sim World 6 at launch, but they're also going to be announcing the content that will be coming out for Train Sim World 6 post-launch. So I'm actually really looking forward to finding out what content we're going to be getting. So, yeah. And also because some of the content we got for Train Sim World 5 was actually really good, actually. I thought all 3 of the base routes were... well, I particularly like the West Coast Main Line and Kensington Bond routes. Those were a lot of fun. San Bernardino I thought was fine. Still kind of boring, but not as boring as Antelope Valley Line, so there's that. Yeah, that route's decent. In terms of post-release routes, well, we also got the we got the MBTA Boston to Worcester, which I actually quite liked, and it was also nice to finally have the HP46 double-decker coaches. You know, me being a dire MBTA fan, I was really happy to finally get more MBTA equipment to complement the F40 and MBB coaches. Also got something like Preston to Carlisle, which I actually drove on recently in my spare time. Really like that route. Man, I get quite a lot of enjoyment driving the Class 87 on that route, and I will be getting the Class 86 and driving that in my spare time, and I might even do a video on that route, maybe, but we'll see. Then we also got the Ludwig spawn route, the German thing, which was actually the first route that came out in the year of 2025. So yeah, and yeah, was honestly the most it-exists route ever for Train Sim World. Like, what were they thinking with that route? Because Frischnivelat's routes came with no new rolling stock, and the route itself was just the most unremarkable thing ever. It was just nothing to it. Like, what was even the point? Like, honestly, the best way I can describe Frischnivelat's is that it's basically Semmeringbahn, because half of the route is high speed, and half of the route is curves and stuff. It's basically Semmeringbahn, but at home. Like, starting one I actually really liked because the scenery was actually really nice on the slow mountain section, and there was a pretty nice high speed section between wherever station, the second half of the route, if you know what I mean. This route was very similar to that though for this route because, like I said, one half of it is high speed, the other half is curvyisms. But again, it was a lot less interesting because, you know, the scenery was a lot less interesting. And just the fact that there is no new trains. No new trains. Nothing. Every single locomotive and rolling stock in that route is all stuff that is recycled from previous route releases. Yeah. Really not good. So, yeah, really remarkable route there. Oh, we did also get the Mitsubishi route from trains from Germany. That was second round, I think, released in 2025. That was decent. They said some new content in it, although that was announced on the ticket thing, so yeah. Then in March, we got the Dutch route and the Welsh routes, which, again, I thought the Dutch route was fine, but again, remarkable. And same can be said about the Cardiff City Neighborhood route. I thought that route was just fine as well. And in fact, the last thing the last thing I haven't mentioned yet that they actually announced on the ticket thing is the Great West Express remaster. And well, Great West Express remaster doesn't come out, and yeah. So I find it funny that they announced a thing for Train Sim World 5, but we're not getting announced until Train Sim World 6. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I suppose if we get in Life 20 Train 5. So, trying to think here. Oh yeah, Maurice Wills got the Frankfurt S-Bahn route as well as the Manchester Airport commuter. There's probably one more route that I'm forgetting, but what the route is, I don't know. To be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed by Frankfurt S-Bahn. I was expecting that route to be a lot more busy. But it's primarily just S-Bahn trains, and in terms of other types of service you can do on that route, there's not much. Or how much that piques my interest anyway. And, what else? Oh yeah, Manchester Airport commuter. Yeah, that route was fun as well. No, the thing that annoys me though about Manchester Airport commuter though is that I'd say it's a little bit too short because I was actually looking into the files of Train Sim World, and yeah, here's something I find interesting. The pack file that contains the Manchester Airport commuter was actually called Manchester to Crewe, which makes sure that back in the early development phase of that route, they were actually going to build the route from Manchester all the way to Crewe. Except in the end, they only built it as far as Able or whatever the heck that station's called at the bottom of the route. So it just makes it about, you know, short. And again, I understand that was Don Thompson's first route, but I would rather if they just built the route all the way to Crewe to make it more interesting. And yeah, just remember we also got the North London line, I'm calling it, because that's its original name. I'm sorry, I don't like that. It's funny, I'm not even a Londoner. I've never even been to London, and yet I sympathize with Londoners. And I think that the new names, or the names they came out with for the London Overground routes, are all stupid, and I prefer the old ones. So, yeah, we got the North London line, which is of course, the first route made by a single developer, Incredible Trains, and again, I thought that route was alright as well, so, yeah. I think that's all of them. I might be forgetting one more, but I don't remember. Oh, it's coming up here. We got like this downhill, uphill section. Or no, it's downhill, I think. Oh no, wait, we're going uphill, so it's gonna be flat and then uphill again? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we're going via 7 Mile. And we're going to... Where are we stopping at? Oh, Moab MK siding. Okay. Don't know how much further that is, but we'll find out in just a second here. Yeah. But all the same, I think we got a pretty decent list of routes here in the Transport 5 Live fam. A couple of good ones as well. Really good ones that I enjoyed. And I'm excited to see what they can announce for Transport 6 on the Dovetail Direct stream at the end of August. And yeah, I'll be talking all about it here on this channel. Alright, come on, bit more break. Come on. Holy moly, how much more breaks do we need? There we go. Alright, we'll run directly to Moab, where we'll split a train into guys for loading. I need to be precise with our switch moves, and Moab will start where we're irritated, okay? Oh, 6.5 miles, really? Okay, fine. Alright, that's 6.5 miles to our destination. Okay. Oh, let's see what else I can talk about then. But in terms of other routes and stuff to talk about Transport 5, I guess talk about some add-ons then. We also got the Tim Tom and Friend add-ons. Or, yeah, add-ons. We got the Tim Tom Visit the West Somerset Railway. As well as the 70th Anniversary Pack, which gives you the Tim Tom and his LBSC livery. I haven't actually played with that one yet, the LBSC version. I've only played with the 50 miles per hour. Oh, come on. But I haven't actually played with the LBSC one yet. I've only played with the base one, the one that we got to start with. Oh, that one was fun as well. And yet, I am a Tim Tom fan, or if I say probably Thomas and Friends fan still, even after all these years, and I thought that one was actually really cool. We're still under 15 miles an hour. Oh, don't tell me we're going to be doing that for the rest of this journey. Oh, no. Well, it looks like we are. Okay. I was just running things to talk about, really. Anyway. Anything else I can talk about at this point? Well, we've got the F59 PHI add-on as well for the both Metrolink routes, which I drove that thing once. I guess we'll have another Metrolink engine. Not PHI, just the F59 PH, I mean. So I also drove the Crocodile Heritage Pack as well for the Link Rank Checker route recently as well. That's pretty neat as well, and it gave me an opportunity to finally drive that route in its entirety. I'm really gonna be doing 15 for the rest of this route. Come on. We're going slow as is. Maybe we'll go even slower. I'm already getting bored of this route. Yeah. I was going up to 20 in a mile, so that's good at least. So, anything else I can talk about? Not really. I guess in case you're wondering about my financial situation, I'm still going through financial hardship. Although I might be on the cusp of getting out of financial hardship. But we'll have to wait and see about that. But I'll let you guys know about that once I have more to share. So, yeah. Guess some of real life train news. Still in the awesome Valley Liberty is coming to service. I can't believe it's summertime now, and it's July now. They still haven't got those things in service. So, who knows when the Availers are coming? That's all I can say about that. Looks like it's right about some rocks. I'm completely forgetting the Mob MK sighting because I'm running out of stuff to talk about at this point. I spent most of the video talking about Train Sim World 6 and stuff, but that's what I said pretty much everything I say about Train Sim World at this point. Well, there are still 2 more rounds to go then for Train Sim World 5 then. Like I said, we just got the Class 86 locomotive, which when I push the car out, which I'll be driving in my spare time pretty soon. And yet to come is the Expert Bureau 101 game pack for Castle Wurzburg. I'm actually quite looking forward to that. Because I actually quite like, well, I say I like Castle Wurzburg. Okay, Castle Wurzburg is fine, but it's high speed though, and you know, if people were attracted to me, and also I actually like the Bureau 101 as well. And we also have the Class 170 pack as well for the Birmingham Quasila. So I'm actually looking forward to that as well, because I actually kind of like the Class 170, so I'm looking forward to having more variants of it. Because right now, as far as Class 170, we have the Scarborough variant for a 5 circle line, so it'd be nice to have. Actually, we're getting 2 new variants. We have the cross country version as well as the West Midlands trains version as well. So looking forward to that. And that's it. And after that, we gotta wait till the Delta Direct stream at the end of August. And then we can all get excited for the release of Train Sim World 6. Yeah. Do you know what then? I'll say a bit more about Train Sim World 6. So I've talked about what add-ons and engines I'm interested in. But because Train Sim World 6 is a new quote-unquote game, even though it's not a game, it's just another copy-paste of the same game we've had for the last several years now, since Train Sim World 1 back in 2017. It's pretty much the same game. But because it's a new quote-unquote game, I'm curious to see what they're going to do in terms of new features for Train Sim World 6. Because, you know, for Train Sim World 5, we actually had a pretty light list of new features. I mean, we got 4 new features. Actually, 5, technically, but 4 main features they announced at the Delta Direct stream. None of which I really ever use. They did do the guard mode thing. Guard mode is a thing. Or conductor mode, whatever I call it. I did play that mode for a bit at first. But really ever since, like, 3 months after Train Sim World 5 came out, I don't think I've done a single guard mode service. And that's mainly because guard mode just doesn't really interest me at all. No, here's the... No. Here's the problem with guard mode. I just realized, I just remember this now. Here's my problem with guard mode. It doesn't work properly. Right? Because no, here's the thing. I did try out guard mode on the New York to Trenton route when that route was updated with the guard mode. And the power system is broken. And it just kills my enjoyment because I was actually really looking forward to guard mode on that route because, you know, New York to Trenton, one of my favorite routes in Trenton, with it being, you know, the Northeast Corridor. And so I was actually really looking forward to doing guard mode on the New York to Trenton route because I really like that route, but it doesn't work. Also, noise check. Oh wow. I just checked the. I'm just checking the noise of my computer. It is dead quiet right now, which is amazing to me. Wow. Oh, just look at this rock here. That's dangerous in real life, isn't it? Oh, it's up to 20 now. Yeah, side note, I was actually expecting my computer to make a bit of noise because, you know, with how hot it can get in this room, you know, my computer fans spin up quite a bit and make a bit of noise, and this part's pretty interesting. This highway though is, what is it? This curve in real life? It can't be. But we're pretty speeding here. But anyways, yeah, so my computer makes a lot of noise when it's on here, but I've now been playing this game for, what, an hour and a half now with my air conditioner turned off, by the way? Yeah. Yeah, my air conditioner is currently turned off, by the way, because I have to turn it off during videos, because I don't want to, you know, make a racket, you know, because my air conditioner that I have right now is pretty loud, actually. It's a pretty loud thing, which I'm fine with most of the time, because I'm just okay with having like a constant noise, like a fan spinning and stuff like that, you know, so I'm fine with how the mic conditioner is during normal times. But obviously when we're recording videos, like I am right now, I always have my mic conditioner turned off because, you know, if you guys hear a loud thing in the background, it just kind of ruins the video a little bit. So yeah, that's why I always have my mic conditioner turned off right now, or off when I'm recording videos, and it's a pretty hot day today as well. The sun was out, shining right through my window, and so it was actually pretty hot today. Anyway, now I'm actually feeling a little bit sweaty at the moment. I think I'm almost done with the scenario, so pretty soon I'll be able to turn my conditioner back on again. I mean, it's not like super duper hot. It's not like it's like, you know, I'm on the verge of death over here. You know, I can live with it. But no, one thing I was interested in was like, how loud is my computer gonna get? And I just pulled out my headphones for a second there. I just gonna do it again. Yeah, my air conditioner is my air conditioner. My computer is like dead quiet. You guys probably can't even hear it at this point, which is good. Yeah, that's what I want. Which is weird though, because only a couple weeks ago my computer was making a decent amount of noise in this heat, but they must have released some sort of update for Windows 11, because the funny thing is I've noticed that Windows 11 has been progressively getting more and more like stable as they release updates. I think what they're doing is that they're releasing updates for Windows 11 that makes it more, I guess, more well optimized. And so my computer doesn't have to work as hard to run it, you know. That's why, despite the fact that it's pretty hot in here and I'm air conditioned off, my computer is still quiet because the fans because basically the hotter my computer gets, the faster the fans spin, because obviously the fans keep my computer cool. But yeah, not to mention not to mention I'm also playing Train Sim World as well, which is not the most graphically demanding game in the world, but still enough to make my computer go burr. But it isn't, yeah. So thank you, Microsoft, for finally getting your stuff together and optimizing your operating system to make my computer run more quietly, and so the viewers watch the video with a loud fan noise in the background. So yeah. Which is good, because that was one of my concerns going into summer. Was like, you know, like how loud is my computer gonna get during these videos, and yeah, but at least for today, it's not too bad. And bodes pretty well for the rest of because right now it's mid-July, and we still got a couple more months until we get to mid-September, and only then the temperature is gonna start going down here locally. So yeah. Anyway, so getting back into the features of Train Sim World 6. So anyway, going back to Train Sim World 5, like I said, I was actually kind of looking forward to the conductor mode function in Train Sim World 5. But again, I tried it on the what was it? The near Trenton route. It doesn't work. And what I mean by that is that the patch system is just completely bugged. Because I don't know what is going on with the patch system here in Train Sim, but just for some reason, like it really explodes up when you do the conductor mode. There's barely any passengers on board, of which you take the tickets of, and so it gets really boring when you're just riding around all the time, you know. It's just like, you know, it's boring as a result. So yeah, so guard mode is something that I used for a few times at first, but I haven't used it in a long while because again the patch system's broken, so I pretty much given up on that for now. But we'll see if potentially they might improve guard mode in Train Sim World 6, so we'll see. I know they also had the enhanced photo mode, which again is something I hardly ever use, or no, I never use it because I always just use Control F12 or F10, I don't know, but Control F whatever it is, take my screenshots because it's just more convenient that way. So photo mode is something I never really use. And as for the fast travel time, again, that's something I hardly ever use. And funnily enough, something else that Dovetail was making a really big deal about was the route hopping feature. Do you know what's funny about that? I have not used the route hopping feature even once. Yeah. Yeah, ever since they implemented the route hopping feature at the beginning of Train Sim World 5, I have used it a grand total of 0 times. Yeah. There is a reason for this though, and I'll tell you what it is. The reason why I have never used the route hopping feature is because it's just not really convenient, right? Because here's the thing with route hopping. It's only really usable if you act as a passenger, right? Like let's say if you start off with San Bernardino, the San Bernardino line. No. If you start over at Lancaster on the Anti-Divide line, you take a Metrolink train down to LA, then take a Metrolink train to San Bernardino on the San Bernardino line, then take a BNSF train to Barstow. You can only do that as a passenger because obviously Metrolink services, you know, terminate at LA. Like, it's not like you can like take a Metrolink train, start out at Lancaster, drive to LA, and then go into Locomotive, then take the train onwards to San Bernardino. You can't do that. Or at least you can't stay in the train and do the route hopping thing. You have to get out, walk up to a marker, and then do it from there. I just don't really have any use for it, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of a pointless feature, to be honest. You know, route hopping. I mean, I guess it's there if you just like riding around trains and stuff like that. But I am a driver. I like to drive the trains all the time. And again, the only way I would consider using route hopping is if I could like take the train with me. Even though here's the thing. Let's say if I decide to spawn a train in free roam mode, decide to drive that from Lancaster to LA to San Bernardino and such. If I could just take the train that I'm in and then like spawn it into like the other routes using the route hopping feature, then I would actually see myself using the route hopping feature more often. But because you're only limited to just walking around, it just serves no purpose to me. Also, what is up with this road here? Oh my goodness. Why is that so steep? Really, Skyhook? What is this? You're not getting off this hill to semi-truck. No. Absolutely not. That really. But why? Are you kidding me, Skyhook? That is completely unrealistic, even for like a road. That is. Because remember, this is the United States of America where semi-trucks are very common. There's no way you're getting a semi-truck up that hill. Or even done it without crashing. I will say this though, the last 5 miles have actually been pretty cool though. Look, they here in the Cane Creek route, ever since we passed the marker. Also, the scenery here is actually a lot more interesting. Yeah. Well, that's not much to comment on it though, so yeah, I'm just letting you guys witness the scenery while I ramble on about Train Sim World stuff. Okay, but the good news is we are now 1 mile away from Moab MK sighting, so yeah. Thank goodness, because I am honestly a little bit bored of this, so whatever. Anyway. But yeah, I hardly ever use route hop. Well, no, I said hardly ever. No, I never use route hopping ever. It's just a pointless feature to me. No, do you want to know what is the one feature that they introduced in Train Sim World 5 that is actually very helpful to me? It's fine. It's just a quality of life thing. It's the layer feature, the layer selector feature. This feature is actually really helpful to me, and not because I can deselect layers. You know, thankfully I'm playing on like a supercomputer with like a AMD Radeon 9 whatever CPU and a NVIDIA GTX whatever, the top of the line stuff, right? So I actually don't really ever run into performance problems here in Train Sim World. But no, the reason why the layer selector thing is so helpful to me is because it helps me identify which add-ons I need to download to fill out the timetable. Because here's the thing, whenever I drive any route in Train Sim World, like any route in Train Sim World, I always download every route I can that is like used in the layers. I download every route I can to just fill out the timetable as much as possible, because here's the thing, I like a route with as busy of a timetable as possible. And not even that, but just as much variety to do in the timetable as possible. So yeah, every time a new route comes out, I always go into like a download screen and download as many different routes as I can, or different routes I need to that I need for the layers. And again, the reason why the layer selector is very helpful is because if I am missing a route or two that I could get for this, you know, to complete the layers of the route that I'm getting the layers for, I can look at the layer selector, and if something is like grayed out or whatever, or like not selectable, it also tells me like what I need to get it or to get completed. So I'd be like, okay, I need this add-on to get this service, so I just go ahead and download it, and then there you go. So yeah, layer selector, a very simple feature, but honestly, feature that's helped me out a lot. Yeah, because the thing was beforehand, like before the layer selector, I would basically have to do my own research just to try and find like just what's available. But now I don't have to do that because it's right in the game. I just download a route, look at the layer selector, see what layers are available, and then just download whatever routes or trains I need to fill the timetable, and then I'm off on my way. I think they didn't even announce that feature until they did the roadmap thing, so yeah. So the best way to put it is that Train Sim World 5 has features that are mostly pointless, but does have one feature that I actually really like and I find to be very useful. So thank you for the layer selector, but I could honestly live without everything else. Anyways, here we are, finally, at where we're supposed to get to. I feel like we're driving for about a century now. But here we are, finally at our destination. About time. Alright. Alright, so yep, here we are. Moab MK signing indeed. We're finally here after all that driving. Okay, it's up in the right place. Then. Oh, come on. Okay, a bit of break. Oh, not too much. Stop in exactly the right place. Well, am I being close? A bit more break. Actually, no. I think I'm fine. Oh, come on. Oh, almost there. And not recalling. Come on, don't stop yet. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, we have to split our train in 2 cuts now. Let's uncouple beyond the 25th hopper. Okay. Okay, so right here. If I can find the button. It's one of these handles here. There we go. Okay, wait for a moment. Okay, uncouple. Now I have to walk the 2 engines at the rear. Wait, walk to the 2 engines at the rear train. I've already gotten into the DPU unit. Okay. Put a handle off mode since we're here now. Oh, never mind. I drive a little bit forwards. Okay. All right then. Okay. Yeah, come on. Okay, better. Oh, Mac break. Okay. And we'll stop right about here. Perfect. Okay. Now I have to walk to the trains at the river. You already said that. And don't forget to throw the science station straight right as you walk by it. Okay. Okay, come on. Oh. Okay, so we're walking to the other thing now. Okay then. Okay, now put a handle off since we're stopped here. And I guess we're talking to the other end of the train. Okay. So they gotta run all this way. That's actually kind of tedious. Okay. So I gotta run all the way to there. Okay. By the way, is this an objective? It is. That's pretty cool. You can read that if you want. I'm not going to though, because this video is already running long as is. There's the end of our train. So we're just setting up the engine, then we're done. Yeah, let me see what we're. Oh yeah, stop. Okay. Okay, so getting the engine then back up, and then we're done. Okay. So we're almost there. And I made sure to. Oh, I gotta do this too as well. Good. Just gonna back up, and then we'll be done. Look like a dirt path here. And okay. Tell you what though, this is where we're like a fast travel feature of some kind. No, we're not that lucky. Okay. Alright, going on into this engine. Okay. Thought we were going to the other one, but I guess not. Alright. Yep, do this stuff. Okay. Let's get things set up then. If it would let me. Oh, it's going to here. Okay. Okay, gotta do this carefully because I want to make sure I do this properly. Okay. Oh, I want to cut in and lead. Okay. Okay, switch out the DPU fuse. There we go. Okay. And up to here. The train would move. Come on. Did I do this wrong again? No, we're moving. Never mind. We're good. All right. Okay. Alright, let's put this marker, then I'm guessing we're done. Yep, stop here and then we're done with the scenario. Alright. Well, there you go, then that was the Cane Creek Railroad route. I like the part towards the southern end of the route though. There's like this mountainy section that we're in right now. Well, most of the route though was just kind of boring, so yeah. But let me know what you guys think of this route. Is that a tunnel? It is. Huh. Oh, come on. Okay. Just make sure to stop in just the right place. Right about here. And that is job done. Alrighty then. And yep, that is gonna do it for this video. Oh, only an hour and 32 minutes. That was like 29 I thought. Oh, wait, it was longer than I thought. Okay, whatever. Anyways, yeah, that will do it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.